Okay, Rob, thank you very much. Coach, an electric atmosphere at the Haskins Center for Western Kentucky and UTEP. They just introduced the starting lineup from that team from 50 short years ago.
Unbelievable. They changed the face of college basketball, probably college forever. Did what to basketball, to college basketball, what Jackie Robinson did to baseball.
And kids playing this ball game know all about that. That's Western Kentucky's lineup. Change in UTEP's lineup today. A change at the guard position this afternoon.
Well, both teams, they're both gonna rely heavily on the play of the backcourt guys. It's relatively two small teams, but both teams like to really get after it, and both teams are pretty good rebounding teams.
Both teams coming off wins last time out. We'll see what happens on a gorgeous day in El Paso. And Western Kentucky wins the opening tap, and away we go. Frederick Edmond handles the point.
Well, right away, Western Kentucky is trying to establish inside with Edmond. They're going to try to post him up a lot today, mainly to try to, get the Texas team in trouble.
Omega
UTEP,
Harris.
I want to call them Texas Western.
You can. Those are the throwback unis they're wearing in honor of that national championship club. So Omega Harris puts the Hilltoppers in front. Quickly 2-zip.
Well, it's so amazing, and I get more excited every second when I think about it. The fact that both teams are basically in a throwback mode. Western Kentucky celebrating their Sweet 16 team with Clem Haskins, and so much history, which we'll talk about during the game.
A couple of second chances for UTEP, couldn't convert. Edmond brings it back for Western Kentucky. Good look, free ball banged home.
Well, that's a big shot for him. I mean, he's not a great he's a more than average three-point shooter, but this is what the strength of UTEP is, getting that ball up court and driving that ball to the basket.
Western Kentucky wants to push the pace up 5-0.
Don't have a true point guard on the court, but they got a lot of good players, Western Kentucky do.
Harris bangs home another three. Deja vu for Western Kentucky. They shot 60% in the first half of the last ball game. And a blocking foul with 18:22 to go. 8-0 Western Kentucky. Ray Harper's loving this start this afternoon.
Well, he's loving the start, but his teams have been getting off to pretty good starts. Their problem has been closing out games. Now, a game like today where there's so much emotion involved, particularly for UTEP, usually when you've got so much around a game, you find that your team gets off to a slow start. So what they needed was what they just got. They just needed to score a basket, whether it's a free throw or a layup, it doesn't matter. Just get their minds now settled in on the game and not on the Texas Western game.
Trevor Morris knocks him down. UTEP on the board. It's 8-2. A little pressure.
They showed this a couple of games ago against Louisiana Tech, and were very good at it because they've got so many good guards with really good hands. The 1-2-2, three-quarter court press is really a good defense for Tim Floyd and the UTEP team.
Aaron Cosby with a reach-around foul, his first. And Western Kentucky gets the ball back.
Two excellent coaches. Everything that they do, whether it's side out of bounds under, is done with purpose. Might not be as smooth as usual for Western Kentucky, but as long as they control the ball, coach will be happy. This is where UTEP loves to run.
This is Dominic Artis, who's had two great games back-to-back.
Oh, he's been playing super basketball.
Nice move on the baseline and a whistle. Might be Ben Lawson. It is his first personal foul. Tim Floyd, the head coach here at UTEP in his sixth season, coach.
A great coach, a great motivator. I love watching his teams practice. Used to hate to coach against him because he throws everything at you, including the kitchen sink. So during today's game, you'll see them play man-to-man. You'll see him play zone. You'll see him play triangle and two, box and one, zone press. He will do it all.
First sound of the game in for Western Kentucky. Anton Waters.
Two misses. Got to make free throws. games like today, that's going to come down to free throws and layups.
Western Kentucky tries to take advantage and turn it over.
Here they go, up and running.
And the first stuff of the game.
I'll tell you what, they can get the ball from one end of the court as quick as anybody else. Here comes that three-quarter court trap, pressure, which is actually very, very effective, and especially should be tonight when you're playing against a team without their true point guard.
Western Kentucky's
They
gone
love
cold.
to run.
So after the Urban Morris stuff, UTEP brings it right back, down 4 points. 3-ball Morris bangs it home, 1-point game.
Well, it doesn't take much to get right back in the game today in college basketball with the three. Here comes that three-quarter court press again.
Another turnover.
Excellent.
Double clutch. Ball loose and out of bounds. UTEP keeps it. Lee Moore hustling. And all of a sudden, the Miners are rolling.
Well, you know what? This team, I saw them play last week at Louisiana Tech, and this is what I saw. A team pushing the ball up the court. They made threes. What they didn't do that day was take care of the ball. If they can take care of the basketball, they're a mighty dangerous team.
Second chance. Harris with a great pass.
There's that trap again. Of course, I love the trap. When I was at St. John's and I had those 6'5 guards and Eric Barkley, we used to trap all over the place. 1-2-2. And I tell you what, guys with good hands and good feet can make a lot of things happen.
Nigel Snipes bangs home a big three and puts the Toppers back in front. 11-9, 16 minutes to play in the opening half. Up and down game early. On the baseline and the foul.
You know, a lot of people would say, UTEP does not have a big guy, and they don't, because their starting front court, their 3, the 4, and the 5 men have been basically are out. One, in terms of transfer and then injuries, so they're missing their whole front court. But what they've got is they've got a lot of good athletes, a lot of good, strong backcourt players, and when you can get guys around on the baseline, attacking the basket, then you know what? It doesn't make any difference whether you're 6'8 or 6'9.
Alexei Rostov and Rodrix Jones check in for Western Kentucky. Another sub. Here's Chris McNeil. He was supposed to start this game for Western Kentucky, coach, but a bad ankle.
Bad ankle. You know what? I don't think he's going to play a lot. We'll see. We'll see how fast he, how he gets warmed up. But he looks a little gingerly on it, so we'll see.
Over Thursday night.
Go, go, go!
So 11-10, Western Kentucky with a lead.
And I think that's why you're going to see a lot more pressure from UTEP today because of the fact that he's not himself.
Rostov up top, 8 to shoot. In and out, tough break. Anton Waters had it pop out, and then Miners bring it back. Hot step, and off the rim. Good look.
Good look.
Finish.
Defense got away with a little bump there, but you still got to finish those.
And a whistle. Up and down, coach. A track meet just like UTEP had last time out.
Fun game. I'll tell you what, stay tuned. This is going to be a good one.
A 5'10 junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 4. 6 sophomore from New York City, number 2. Forward for Texas Western, represented today by his daughter Deanna, a 6'5" senior from Gary, Indiana.
Texas Western, they called him the Bear. Represented today by his lovely wife Gary, escorted by our head coach.
This was the scene prior to tip this afternoon in El Paso. The Miners brought back family and the starters from that 1966 National Championship team, and coach, this place went crazy.
It did. In fact, they've been in a week-long celebration here, and rightfully so. The first young lady you saw come out was Bobby Joe Hill, that star player, his wife Tina. I met some of these guys yesterday, Willie Worsley, David Latine, Neville Shedd. Great group of guys, and they know they made history.
And they are rightfully very proud of it.
And they should be.
All-star inside, good movement, wide open shot, McNeil off the back iron. Western Kentucky's gone cold from the floor after an early 8-0 start. Now McNeil will rebound and run, again playing with a tender ankle. Rostov inside with the left hand, rebounds and puts it back.
That's a good sign for Western. Rostov, anything you can get out of him is a bonus. Guy they were expecting a lot from, but he's been suffering from a lot of different injuries over the years.
6'10" out of Latvia. Western Kentucky up 3. Harris crossover dribble, back iron, long rebound.
Got to be careful. When you're playing against the zone, you want to move the ball, but you also want to penetrate. And that time UTEP settled for the jump shot instead of trying to maybe get the ball in the lane with the dribble and then kick out or shoot it, because they're really good mid-range players. Now UTEP will show a little zone of their own. It's almost like, tick for tat. You do one thing to me, I'm going to come back and do it at you.
Shot clock at 5, ball on the floor, loose. UTEP and a jump ball.
Jump ball is the call.
UTEP has the possession arrow. They'll get the ball. Frederick Edmond back in. Buried a 3 in the early moments of the ball game. 13-10. Here's your score.
When you've got a player who's playing with a little sprained ankle like McNeil is, you put him in, you really want to keep him in. What you don't want to do is be taking him in and out of the game, because that's when you have problems.
Oh, look at that penetration in the dish.
Great penetration.
Terry Wynn with a finish.
Artez, what makes him so special is, here's a kid who's averaging almost 30 a game the last 2 games, and he's willing to give the ball up. That's the sign of a great basketball player.
12 total assists in those last 2 ball games that you mentioned. Another long shot. Rostov cleans it up with an offensive second chance.
I was at that Louisiana Tech game where he was 1 assist away from a triple-double.
Edmond inside. Now with 5 points, Western Kentucky's lead is 3.
Better team, new team since Edmond has been getting more minutes.
3 ball, in and out. Tight rims in the early minutes.
That's why they're probably shooting at that rim in the first half. They'll be shooting at the loose one probably in the second half, if I know Tim.
Rostov, good look. Off the front iron. UTEP links up right side. McNeil cross-court pass, crossover, penetration, dish back layup, beautiful.
Very, very unselfish team, averaging almost 16 assists a game. Here's that 1-2-2 press. And that's what it forces. It makes you play faster than you want to play.
McNeil tried to hit Anton Waters, but threw it away. Look at the penetration and the pass.
Well, like you said, the pass. You move the ball, you penetrate, and then you dish, and guess what? Good things happen.
Lee Moore with a beautiful dish makes it a 1-point game. Morris and Wynn, the only 2 that have scored so far for UTEP.
And I hate to keep talking about that press, but what that press will do is some nights it will speed the other team up, some nights it will slow them down. That's the beautiful part about it. But no matter what, it makes the other team think. And with the 30-second shot clock now, the other team doesn't have as much time to try to run offense at the end. He is in a zone, Mr. Artisis. He's in a zone.
23 at Louisiana Tech, 33 against Marshall, 25 of them in the second half. And Artis on the board with his first bucket of the game, and the Miners back in front.
And now the Miners go back to a little zone. Actually, it looked like a little boxing one that time.
Moore penetrates in traffic. Won't finish.
Every now and then you just gotta, if you don't have it, set up and run some good offense.
Second chance and a friendly roll.
It's funny how air ball sometimes can end up being a good friend. And that time it was a good friend for Western Kentucky.
That's Jim Valvano at NC State.
Oh yeah, hey, Derek Wittenberg was famous for shooting an air ball.
15 on the clock. Again in traffic. UTEP trying to take the ball, coach to the glass. Not a whole lot of luck inside so far.
Well, along the baseline, it's one thing to penetrate middle, and you got many more options. When you penetrate baseline, you're sort of like, you don't have as many options, and many times you end up charging or taking a not so good shot. Nice interior pass in that time.
Tough pass inside. And a personal foul charged to Hooper Vint. Good ball game so far in El Paso. 1-point game. Western Kentucky up by 1.
Uniforms this afternoon in honor of a spectacular campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video boards for a tribute to the 65-66 Hilltoppers.
And all ready for the big event. Starting the way the Kentucky Hilltoppers tonight will be the 5 who have carried the ball, so to speak, so far.
Joining us right now is UTEP President Dr. Diana Natalicio. And how about a nice El Paso welcome for Western Kentucky President Dr. Gary A. Ransdell.
Year celebration of UTEP's national championship. But Coach, there was another club that had a pretty good season in '66 as well.
Well, Clem Haskins, who ended up having an incredible coaching career. In fact, the first time I met Clem, he was an assistant at Western Kentucky, and he was in my family room. He and Gene Cady recruiting a kid by the name of Patrick Ewing. So I remember him from those days. I never ever remember him being that thin, though, as I see in that picture.
And he's watching today.
Oh, I know he is. And he and his wife, two wonderful, wonderful people, and great coach as well.
So the first couple of free throws coming up for Western Kentucky. This is Justin Johnson, club leader in scoring. 61% shooter from the floor and 1 for 2 from the line, which at times has been a problem for him.
It has. The last couple of games, he has not been very effective from the free throw line, and he's got to be a good, nice backdoor. He's got to be a good free throw shooter for him.
More travel. So Western Kentucky has the ball on a 2-point lead.
Well, this is a good team to press if you're UTEP. However, UTEP now has got a couple of guys in the game that really don't have that quicker feet. So maybe that's why they didn't press that time.
Western Kentucky jumped out to an 8-0 start. And that one spins out. Their lead now 2, and UTEP brings it back. Chris McNeil didn't start, but he's had a hand in a big comeback for the Miners over the last 4 minutes.
As this is a game, I don't care what the defense does, you don't want to settle for jump shots. What you want to do is move it, get it going from side to side, penetrate, make things happen off the middle penetration if possible.
9:45 to play. Charging foul, blocking foul. Changed at the last moment. Official, I believe, said charge first. Now it's a block.
Well, he may have, but once again, the guy's got to give him that step. He didn't give it to him. It looked like it might have been. Well, maybe not. I was going to say it looked like the right call. I think it maybe should have been a charge call. He was outside the circle, and he got there both feet before the offensive player.
Tevin Caldwell, the man called with a block. Well, he had a couple of big plays in that win against Marshall. A couple of offensive rebounds on free throw misses.
23 Johnson going to the line.
It's amazing.
1 by 4.
It's amazing the things that end up helping you win games, the little things, and it's because it's really all about the little things. Diving on the floor for the ball, getting a rebound off a missed free throw.
One more for Johnson.
So Johnson 2 out of 3 at the line. Is that something he's thinking about, his struggles?
I think so. I detect a little bit of hitch in his shot sometime, especially when he misses a couple. Got a lane violation here. So he'll get another attempt. He got a little bit of a hitch at the very end, I noticed that the last time I had him. See what happens this time. Because he's really a pretty good shooter. Now that was perfect.
So Johnson with 4. Hilltoppers by 4. Under 10 minutes, first half. Jake Flaggart, good three-point shooter at home, checks in. McNeil, back iron, whistle. Nigel Snipes with the foul, his first.
Both teams run really good out of bounds sets, usually looking to try to score off it as opposed to just getting in. Good look, good idea, just a little bit short.
He'll try to hit Hooper Vint. 2016, approaching 9 minutes.
Both teams put a lot of emphasis on trying to make sure the other team doesn't score much on inside against them.
Nice pump fake. Second chance, dribble drive, penetration, and the foul.
Got to finish those.
Frederick Edmonds been busy.
He normally converts those. You want the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Western Kentucky's gone ice cold from the floor. They're 1 for their last 7. UTEP's missed 4 shots in a row after a very hot start.
Yeah, both teams, have really picked up their sense of urgency on defense. They're playing pretty good defense.
Back in for the Miners, number 12, Terry Wynn, number 20, Urban Morris, and number 2, Omega Harris.
Omega Harris checks back in.
I was just going to say,
Urban Morris.
Both coaches seem to be substituting a lot more than they usually do, trying to keep their bodies, keep everybody fresh.
And Huddle in for Western Kentucky as well. 5-point game.
What could have been a 3-point play ends up being a 1-point play.
Say some, Justin!
Once again, you see Western really trying to get everybody off into the lane. If the man doesn't have the ball, they want at least 3 guys with a foot in the paint.
2 to shoot. Won't go. This seems to be Western Kentucky's game plan. Force UTEP to shoot jump shots, and if they beat them, so be it.
Well, that's what their plan is. Make them beat you from 3. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job.
Nice pass inside, and Rostov with a right-hand finish.
This could be a game, for Rostov and Western Kentucky. If he can start playing well for them, they become a much better team because now you got another big guy that can make things happen.
Under 8 minutes to play. 7-point Western Kentucky game.
Little body check.
And a bump. Roberts, beg your pardon. Marlon Hunter with a body foul. Western Kentucky on an 8-0 run. They lead now by 7.
But with each passing year, it becomes clear that the one team's best facing another team's best. The moment basketball was allowed to be basketball.
A game of runs, coach. Western Kentucky jumped out 8-0. UTEP came back, took a brief lead. Now UTEP on a 5-minute scoring drought.
Well, that's how these games go. Ebb, flow. I mean, 1 minute's offense, next minute's defense. It's really going to be who's more consistent throughout the game. Which team can get the ball in the paint and which team can out-rebound the other.
Well, it looks like UTEP's been able to get the ball in the paint. They just haven't been able to finish their opportunities so far today.
Well, you got to finish. That's the other part of it. You're right. Nice out of bounds play. That time they did finish.
So a nice inbounds play indeed. Makes it a 5-point game, 7.5 left in the opening period.
Both teams have been really emphasizing defense, getting better.
Rostov follows his own 3-point miss. A second chance.
He is a prototypical stretch 4.
And a whistle.
And by stretch 4, I'm sure most people realize what you're talking about is that big guy, whether he's 6'8", 6'9", or plays either the 4 or the 5 position, that can step away from the basket beyond the 3-point line that you have to fear because of his ability to shoot threes. That's a stretch 4. They stretch the floor.
4 rebounds for Rostov. That's part of Western Kentucky's game, too, in conference play. This is the best rebounding differential club in Conference USA.
Yeah, they've got a plus 5.5, I think, which is really good. And when you think about the fact that most of the time their biggest guy is 6'7", that means all the guards are sharing some of that rebound wealth. Same thing with Texas Western, with UTEP. They all rebound.
4-point rebounding advantage for Western Kentucky. Rostov off the bench with 6 points. And the lead again, 7 with 7 to play.
Well, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? Before I watch the Super Bowl, I'm going to go back and watch Glory Road.
There you go. Nice penetration with the left hand. Easy bucket for Irvin Morris. He's got 9 first-half points.
Well, Irvin Morris is so good at getting to the basket, and then, of course, he has the ability, like he showed right there, to finish with either hand.
Preseason all-conference selection, 20 points in his last game. He's almost halfway there with 6 minutes to play in this half. Rostov left wide open. He is having a big game.
Well, he is, and what they just did was they decided that they were going to be chasing. Let me see. They were chasing Aaron Crosby around. Okay, and they left Rostov basically alone. Once again, Tim had gone to a little bit of a denial defense against one of the players and sagging off the others.
Good look. Drill. Irvin Morris again. That's 11.
Well, that makes the penetrating game for him even that much, better because of the fact that he can also knock down threes.
Now dribble drive on the baseline, and there's that man again, Frederick Edmond, who got off to a great start. Quiet for the last 4 minutes, but now 8 points.
And yesterday, Coach Floyd spent a little bit of extra time talking to his guys and drilling his guys on taking away the baseline drive, putting your foot on or over the end line. Didn't do that the last time down court.
Possession arrow to Western Kentucky. They'll take over with 5:40 to play in the half.
Really like the way that Tim and Coach Hopper, are subbing their guys, trying to keep them fresh. Both guys are doing a great job keeping, so that they can play at this 94 feet game, up and down, offense and defense by substituting.
Ball poked away from behind, away from Omega Harris. Moore wide open.
A little bit too open.
Now UTEP with a reset.
When you're pushing the ball up the court after you beat pressure, unless you see 5 jerseys in front of you with the other color team, you got to realize somebody's coming from behind. They're going to probably try and tap the ball. Inside out. This time, it's a little better for them.
To prevent. Can't pull the trigger. 5 to shoot. Good defense.
Great
3 to
job.
shoot. 2 to shoot. Desperation heave won't go. Vinto, an offensive rebound. Ball in the air. Reset. UTEP's got it. McNeil hangs and can't hit.
Notice that time. Did you see the body control and how he used his body to draw that? Tough guy to defend.
Justin Johnson thought he was kicked on the play. Was he?
He might have been, but guess what? Nobody saw it. Yeah, he did. Once again, used that right leg instead of the arm to shield him. Referees are looking for arms. They're not looking for legs. I don't know who taught him that, but quite a move. I don't know what they're reviewing.
Might be reviewing the play.
Well, I don't see how if you call a foul on a drive and a shot, how now you can go back and review. What are you going to do? Now they're going to change the call? I don't think that is supposed to happen.
Johnson was outside the arc when he jumped to meet his man.
I don't believe that they shouldn't be looking for the knee issue, because that wasn't a part of the call at all. If they're looking for anything, they should be looking for whether the defender was inside or outside of the circle of the arc inside the lane. So if they change this call, I'd be a little upset. I'd be very upset if I was Coach Floyd.
You can see the knee of McNeil in the chest of Johnson.
Yeah, you can, but that's not what they called. There shouldn't, if anything, there shouldn't have been a call in that, because Johnson's got both hands up. The referee called the foul on Johnson, so not on a knee. This will be very interesting. I know. He did get him with the knee, but once again, that had nothing to do with the call. Now, if he need him in the head because of the new emphasis, that I could see that.
Well, I'd want to see that replay.
Yeah.
Get that kind of hops. So the review continues with Western Kentucky up 22. As we said in our opening comments, this is a big game for both of these ball clubs, both 4 and 6 in conference play, trying to get some momentum in the final month of the year before they enter conference playoff action.
Yeah, every game is big, but the key is momentum. The key is you want to be playing your best basketball in March, first week in March. Historically, and I don't think it should be the case all the time. They're showing that play again, that this has been a one-bid league. Okay, it should be more than that, I believe, but it's been one. I don't know what these referees are going to do. I mean, if they change the call, I think they're wrong, period.
On that last shot we had, you could see the toe of Lee Moore make contact with Johnson before the knee as he made his way vertically.
Yeah, but that's not, the referee called a foul on the defensive player. They can't change the call. You know, I mean, seriously, you can't change that call. I mean, if you could change that call, then that means you could change any call during the course of the game. It doesn't work that way.
And apparently the outcome of the review was no issue.
Yeah, you couldn't change that.
Yep, so as it turns out, no change of the call. And McNeil will go to the line. Both teams with 6 fouls with 4:50 left in the opening half.
Yeah, you can't change that call. Come on, guys. You wonder why coaches go bald or gray. It's because of stuff like that, you know?
Buddha Jones, for number 23, Hooper Vince.
If they had changed that call, Ray Harper would be a very happy guy.
In and out for Artis. So a 6-point game, free throw game so far. Western Kentucky 6 out of 8. UTEP 4 out of 8. Harris doing his drives, right hand, got the friendly roll.
Very nice. UTEP comes right back at you.
But now down 8. That's how the game started. 8-0 run for Western Kentucky to start. UTEP's been playing catch-up most of the afternoon.
They do a lot of different things off of their weave offense. That time they drew the foul.
Snipes picks up his second.
Nice crossover dribble. Got the guy in the air. Make sure he makes contact with the defender. And you go to the line for 2. But you got to make these free throws.
Morris has done that in the early going.
You know, for a guy that shoots the ball as well as he does, he's only a 67% free throw shooter. Should be much better than that from the free throw line. In fact, everybody playing basketball should be better than that.
He's having a huge half, Coach. He's got 14 of UTEP's 24 points.
Which is not really characteristic of UTEP. Usually there's, you know, the scoring is distributed better. But that's got a little bit to do with the way Western Kentucky is defending some of the other guys.
And a foul inside.
Travel first.
Yep. Home crowd wanted to travel. They got it. Ray Harper can't believe it, but he's happy with a 7-point lead as we're under 4 minutes to play in the half. In just 2 weeks, the best drivers in the world return to the track for the Great American Race, and NASCAR legend Jeff Gordon joins the Fox crew to call all of the action. Don't miss the Daytona 500 beginning Sunday, February 21st at noon Eastern, only on Fox. Game summary with Western Kentucky up 7, Coach.
Well, what I see right now, the difference in the game is Western Kentucky is getting a lot more production, 10-0 off the bench. Field goal percentage is better, but it's the bench that's been the difference.
Alexei Rostov with 8 of those 10 points. He's about to check back in under 4 minutes to play. Cooper with a nice move inside. Cooper first bucket of the ball game.
And they need a little bit more of that. Somebody's got to give them a little bit of inside game.
That makes it a 5-quarter affair. And then spins in traffic, hangs, and he hits in traffic. Good play.
He took that ball away from half court, all the way inside the arc in the lane for that.
Eben at 13 points, and the Hilltoppers' victory at Texas San Antonio on Thursday. He's got 10 in today's first half.
Now, the other day, Western was practicing on the weave into some screen action inside. Looks like they're a little uncertain right now as to what they really want to do off that weave offense.
Jump ball is on the floor. UTEP will take possession. Rostov will check in for the Hilltoppers. Here's Jones for the Miners. 3 minutes left in the opening half.
And for both teams, you want to stay connected in this game. You want to make sure that you're never down more than maybe 2 possessions away from taking the lead. 6-7, that's okay.
Alley-oop off the iron. And with 1 to shoot, it's buried by Artis.
Okay, now they're going to take a look at that. It looked like it was good. These guys the referees are having some, maybe they're taking a little break, but watch this here, and I don't know if we'll see the clock. Hits the rim, bounces out. It looked like it was pretty good. Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, that ball left his hand with a second on the clock. That wasn't even close to being, to be honest with you, a shot clock violation.
So it's a shot clock issue. The pass hit the rim.
It did. Almost got a 3 on the pass, which you actually, I don't know if you can't score on the pass from out of bounds, but the ball is alive. As you could see there, I could see 1 second clearly on the shot clock. No, because it wasn't a shot. It was a pass. Don't think that the shot clock should have reset. The question was, should the shot clock have reset? And if it should have, once again, if it should have reset, then fine. But it was a pass. It wasn't a shot. So no, I don't think the shot clock is supposed to reset. That's not a shot. That's a pass.
So 2, 1, fake, clearly out of his hand.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about on this.
Busy first half for Larry Spalding, Brent Dugas, and Marquez Pettigrew, the officiating crew.
Well, this is a game. This is the game. If you're an official, honestly, with some of the things that have happened so far in this game, there are a lot of good teaching and learning opportunities, and you hope that they, like the coaches, will take the tape home, watch it, study it, learn from it, because there's been a couple of things so far today that you got to sort of like question.
Yeah, we had the
knee,
the artist
that was almost called was
Justin Johnson play, and now a review of the shot as the shot clock trickled down to 1 before Artis buried the jumper.
I don't know who this stop and act in the action helps, right now, which doesn't help either one of these teams. But there's no doubt that the ball left his hands long before the 30-second shot clock went off. Now maybe what they're saying is maybe the shot clock should have started and maybe the shot clock didn't start. I think that's what it's about. On that pass from out of bounds and hit the rim, the clock should have started.
So the shot's going to count.
Yes. That would be the only way I think the shot wouldn't, if they now said, okay, there was a time violation because the shot clock should have started.
The crowd gets into things as UTEP presses. And a whistle.
Clock stops again because of the foul.
Terry Wynn picks up the foul. And we'll go to the line. So you said earlier, rebounding and free throws will be where this game is decided.
Well, it's where really most games, unless a team hits an inordinate amount of threes, is decided. And you got to make free throws. And you know, it's amazing that there aren't too many teams in the country that shoot over 70% as a team, and it's just that important.
Marlon Hunter missed the first of the 1-and-1. Under 2:40 to play. Hey, and it pops out. Mostov comes away with a rebound. 2.5 to play, first half. Western Kentucky with a slim rebounding lead, 19-16 on the glass. Both teams in the bonus as we approach 2 minutes.
They've been shadowing Crosby.
Shot clock violation. UTEP excellent defense. And a chance to make it a 1-point game with a long one.
Very good defense, and you can tell that Tim Floyd has decided that he's going to put a little extra emphasis on defending Aaron Crosby. And he's actually playing him in a shadow defense while the other guys play regular man-to-man or zone.
Pretty amazing. UTEP is down only 4 points despite shooting 11 for 28 from the floor so far. And here they are knocking at the door under 2 minutes.
Well, you want to go in at halftime if you know, the home team, you always want to get that momentum at the end of the half. They say that the last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Beautiful move by Terry Wynn. He's got a half dozen.
You want to close out the half, either team, both teams.
33-31. Johnson, Harris, fires and buries it. 3. And Cosby with a 3-point shot. And then the turnover, and Western Kentucky converts again.
Those are potential 5-point plays. Two the other team can't. You can't get, and 3 the other team can.
Now McNeil with a shot off the right iron. Ball on the floor and turned over. Edmond got a little greedy, and the ball on the hardwood, not out of bounds to the Miners.
Well, once again, that's not his natural position. Normally, he'd be running the wing, and he'd be the recipient of the pass as opposed to the distributor. But this is only going to make him and Western Kentucky better as they go forward in this season.
7-point game, under a minute.
Back to that 7. They had got it down to, what, 1?
1 or 2?
Stay down.
10 to shoot. Off balance runner won't go. Rostov with the rebound. And the Hilltoppers going to take time out.
Nobody heard him.
Now they get it with 29 seconds to go.
See, a year ago, coach could have called that timeout. Last year, this year, the timeout's got to be called from the player on the court. Big difference.
Big difference indeed. Big East is playing some of the best basketball in the nation. 3 teams in the top 11, and the action continues Monday as St. John's and Georgetown renew their classic rivalry. Then Tuesday, 3rd-ranked Villanova takes on DePaul. It's all on FS1, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Be ready for anything winter throws at you. Streaky game. Western Kentucky started 8-0. They're now 6 for their last 6 from the floor. UTEP, 12 for 31 from the floor, shooting 39%, something the Hilltoppers have done with regularity. They've held their last 3 opponents under 40% shooting from the floor.
That's pretty good defense. And, you know, once again, it's nice when you work on things like defense that it pays off. Both teams, I think, are getting better at it, and they're going to keep working at it because at the end of the game, defense wins championship.
So Tim Floyd's crew Was within a bucket of tying this thing. Now they've got to stop him with 27 seconds to play and 6-second differential between game and shot clock.
The one thing that UTEP does not want to give up here right now is a 3, because that puts them up by 10.
Harris the miss, swatted from behind, and a second chance and a bucket and a big one. Frederick Edmond, offensive rebound, got hammered, and he's got a chance for a three-point play the unconventional way.
That's right, but it's still, if he can make the free throw, okay, it'll put, once again, good offensive rebounding by the Hilltoppers, strong rebounding by Edmond. Now he goes to the free throw line, and I'll tell you what, if they can take a 10-point lead in at halftime, that's huge.
8-rebound edge in the first half for Western Kentucky. Edmond can't convert the three-point play. 9-point game. Ball drives with the left hand. He runs into a wall. Gets his own miss. Third try out of bounds, and that's going to be the period. So coach has said keep it 6 or 7. It's instead 9 for Western Kentucky, who finished the half in sizzling fashion from the floor.
Well, they did, and once again, right here, you're talking about going after the ball. The pace has been really, really good, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
Rob Stone and crew will talk about that after a break.
Gentlemen, could we please have your attention for a very special 50th anniversary celebration of the 1966 national champions, Texas Western Miners. Let's begin today's festivities by taking a look back at Texas Western and the El Paso community in 1966. And now forming a team tunnel are alumni from 1966, including students, cheerleaders, former band members, and supporters from the El Paso community that follow the team throughout their season. Standing in center court are UTEP President Dr. Deanna Natalicio, Director of Athletics Mr. Bob Stoll, El Paso Mayor Mr. Oscar Leeser. And also joining us today is our very special guest, the President of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert. Now fans, let's welcome our former staff and assistant coaches from the 1966 team. Student trainer, Fred Schwacke. Representing team trainer, the late Ross Moore, his daughter, Marilyn Comey. Sports Information Director, Mr. Eddie Mullins. Assistant coach to the Bear, Mr. Mo Iba. And now, we are pleased to introduce the members of the 1966 national champion Texas Western Miners. A 6'4" senior forward from Eagleville, Missouri, number 21 team captain, Jerry Armstrong. A 6'1" senior guard from Gary, Indiana, number 23, team captain, Austin Artis. A 6'7" junior forward from Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 22, Louis Flip Bedoin. A 6'5" sophomore forward from New York City, number 11, Willie Cager. He is represented today by his wife, Tina, a 5'10" junior guard from Detroit, Michigan, number 14, Bobby Joe Hill. A 6'6" sophomore center from Houston, Texas. You know him, Big Daddy D, number 42, David Lutton. A 6' junior forward from Peabody, Kansas, number 31, Dick Myers. A 6' junior guard from El Paso, Texas, number 25, Togo Rayleigh. A 6'8" junior center from New York City, the Shadow, number 33, Neville Shea. A 5'6" sophomore guard from New York City, number 24, Willie Worsley. Fans, Harry Flournoy could not be with us today, but shared a special message for us all in an interview 2 weeks ago about what the championship means to him.
I just want to say hello to all the fans, to all my former teammates, to everybody who's ever followed Texas Western basketball my whole life. The whole life that I've lived, I've carried that game with me. No matter what I've done, that game has always been with me.
Represented today by his daughter, Deanna Day Turner, a 6'5" senior forward from Gary, Indiana, number 44, team captain, Harry Flournoy. Last but certainly not least, it's time to recognize the Haskins family.
Every time was good. It was really good for college basketball. You know, one of the things that makes me the happiest is I can go right down the line, and each and every one has done well. And I've always said that I like this group in here. You know, if you got people that compete and they work hard and they're dedicated, they're probably going to be all right.
The head coach of the national champions, represented today by his wife Mary, sons Brent and Steve, the Bear, Hall of Famer Don Haskins. Fans, let's welcome our president, UTEP president, Dr. Deanna Natalicio.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out today. We appreciate your joining us to celebrate this very special occasion. Don't we all wish we were here in 1966? How many of you? Raise your hands if you were here. Yeah, just great. You know, we're thankful to this team for putting us on the map 50 years ago and for serving as an inspiration to all of us at the University of Texas at El Paso that we can do anything that we set out to do. They are an inspiration. They let us know that we can achieve anything, whatever the odds. Congratulations to the 1966 team again, and thank you all for being a very special part of this celebration. I'm now very pleased to introduce a very special guest with us today, the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert.
Well, thank you very much, and on behalf of all of Intercollegiate Athletics, it's a great honor for me to be here and join all of you in this really remarkable celebration. This team, this group of men that represented your university did so much for you and this school and had such a huge impact on this community, but I think all of you know and appreciate what they did not just for this city or for Texas Western or UTEP. They did it for all of intercollegiate athletics, and they did it for this nation. The face of intercollegiate athletics was never the same after these men played ball. So congratulations to all of you. What a wonderful celebration, and thank you for all that you've done and the wonderful careers you've had since you won that championship 50 years ago. Thank you all.
How about in El Paso, a big thank you to Dr. Mark Emmert for honoring UTEP today. At this time, we would like to welcome El Paso Mayor, Mr. Oscar Leeser, to present a key to the city for the players of the 1966 National Championship team.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you all on a great accomplishment 50 years ago, but the big part is you're still the only team in the state of Texas to have ever won a national title. Congratulations. And I'm not sure you realize the impact you'd be making on society back then, but the impact you continue to make on our society now. Thank you, and may God bless every one of y'all.
This is for Illinois.
You're a fantastic group. We really appreciate you. Let's have another round of applause for the championship team. Round of applause. Thank you.
Second, we're going to take a team picture again. We would like you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the 1966 team members, we would like you to direct your attention to the video screens for a very special message from a pretty big basketball fan.
50 years ago, long before the Hollywood movie or the Hall of Fame inductions, a group of basketball players in El Paso, black, white, Hispanic, just wanted to win some games. They did a lot of that because in basketball it doesn't matter what you look like, just that you can play. Now, the path to success wasn't usually so clear in the America of the 1960s. So, by becoming the first team to win an NCAA title with 5 black starters, the Miners weren't just champs on the court. They helped change the rules of the game off it. They didn't know it at the time, but their contribution to civil rights was as important as any other. Our progress demands not only Dr. King's, but Jackie Robinson's, not only Rosa Parks, but Aretha Franklin's. Not only household names, but ordinary Americans doing their part in their own lives with their own example. That's what we honor today. A group of Americans who laced up their shoes and moved our country forward. That and a pretty good basketball team. Congratulations on this anniversary, and go Miners.
So let's hear it for the only Division I men's basketball national championship team in the state of Texas, your 1966 Texas Western Miners.
They helped change the rules of the game often. They didn't know it at the time, but their contribution.
One more time for the 1966 national champions. Let's welcome back the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. Let's welcome back your Texas Western Miners.
The celebration continues in El Paso at the Haskins Center. There's our halftime score. Western Kentucky with a 9-point lead. Mark Embert, the president of the NCAA, was here as well to introduce the members of that 1966 national championship team that vanquished the Kentucky Wildcats. There was also a very special message from a very big basketball fan as well, and that was presented here at the stadium just a few moments ago.
By becoming the first team to win an NCAA title with 5 black starters, the Miners weren't just champs on the court. They helped change the rules of the game off it. They didn't know it at the time, but their contribution to civil rights was as important as any other. Our progress demands not only Dr. King's, but Jackie Robinson's, not only Rosa Parks, but Aretha Franklin's, not only household names, but ordinary Americans doing their part in their own lives with their own example. That's what we honor today, a group of Americans who laced up their shoes and moved our country forward. That and a pretty good basketball team. Congratulations on this anniversary, and go Miners.
Mike, I was a year old when that team won the national championship. You were in college. Could you have imagined at the time the impact of that victory over Kentucky?
No, I was at Northeastern University. I was just trying to survive and get through college myself. Did not realize the impact of that game until later, when I myself wanted to become a coach. And you know, if it wasn't because there weren't many, there were very few black players playing and being recruited, there were even less black coaches coaching at that time.
You told us earlier before the game that 16 coaches and 8 of them were in historically black colleges?
When I entered coaching as a head coach at Boston University in 1985, I was one of 16. So thanks to this, to Texas Western, to Coach Haskins, you know, they changed history. They changed the course of history.
And they're celebrating it 50 years on today in El Paso.
And like I said, you know what? Everybody should go and watch Glory Road, and you'll even appreciate it even more.
So off we go to the second half. Western Kentucky with the ball and the 9-point lead. They jumped out 8-0 in the early minutes of this ball game, and that's, Coach, exactly what UTEP can't have happen here in the second half.
They can't, and this guy here, I think, was the main reason, and that is Edmond, for them getting off to such a great first half.
Vicious rejection, and the finish for UTEP.
Well, you know, you got one coach saying it should have been a foul, and then UTEP just running it right down your throat. That's what they'll do. You got to get back.
It was Terry Wynn that had the block. That gets the crowd back into the game. 7-point game, I should say. A minute into the second half.
Even with the extra attention that Aaron Cosby was getting, he still had double figures in the first half. Johnson really wants it. He wants to go to work using that body of his.
A quiet half. Most of his damage at the line, and there's some inside work. The hoop in the harm, and Johnson will go to the strike.
Well, I tell you what, Johnson, all he has to do is take a little bit of the energy from his coach. Once again, when he really makes his mind up to it, he can use that body, and he's got great feet offensively. He's really good around the basket.
6'7", 235. Not afraid to bang around as well as shoot from the outside.
No, he doesn't shoot. And the good thing is he knows he's not an outside shooter. He's really developed his post game. And there's a place in college basketball for a 6'7" post guy.
So a 10-point game.
Very important for UTEP to get off to a good start this half.
Nice finish.
That's a pretty good way to do it.
Irvin Morris had a huge first half with 14 points. Now with 16 in the game. And there's Johnson with the left hand. Used the body to shield the defender.
Yeah, you said it just right. He used the body. He uses his body really well, and he can shoot with either hand. A lot of guys you can play, you know, almost like as if they got just one arm.
Western Kentucky had a big rebounding advantage in the first half. 8 more rebounds than UTEP. And a traveling call.
No, actually, I think they call a foul on the big guy for setting an illegal screen. 20.
You're right.
Yes.
Yep, you're right. My mistake.
And I think he would have made it all the way to the basket without it, to be honest with you.
Rostov had a big first half offensively, commits the foul.
He did, but you know what? I'd rather have a player trying to do something like he just did than just standing around watching the game.
So UTEP with the ball down 10. We're 2 minutes into the half. Nice pass. Rostov defends.
I think sometimes Wynn should just catch and just go strong on the same side and look for the three-point play by getting fouled and going to the line.
Wynn had 6 first half points and another whistle. It's Wynn.
Western Kentucky likes to go high-low, bring one big guy up high, have him be the passer, the other guy try to settle in the lane. And what Western's doing is they're fronting the post and helping off on the backside. But it's kind of tough to do that when the other big guy, Rostov here, number 20, is making jump shots.
He's made a bunch of them. Rostov 4 for 6 from the floor, 6 rebounds.
Makes Western a really tough team.
Again, they have the best rebounding differential in the conference. Big rebounding lead in today's game. Now an 8 rebound difference. There's a 9th.
1 and out. If it's 1 and done, that works to Western's advantage.
And Edmond charged. They are taking the ball to the rim.
Yes, they are. When that happens, you're on defense. You've got to also be ready to do what Western just did, what UTEP just did, and that is come over and get the offensive foul.
So Hooper Vince going to check in a moment for UTEP, try to shut down the lane. Now UTEP with an offensive foul. Wynn.
Yeah, Wynn that time did a great job establishing position, but then watch his left arm basically be in the face of the defender. That's going to be called a foul by an official all the time.
That's his second. 3rd foul on UTEP. And the Hilltoppers with a 12-point lead.
There's so much of an emphasis of keeping hands and arms out of the face of the opposing player. There's also a lot of emphasis on calling illegal screens, which just took place there.
And Rostov with the foul. 13 foul.
UTEP's got to get a little bit more movement, maybe get a couple more guys touching it, swing it from side to side.
And they're going to get Rostov again. All of a sudden, he's in foul trouble. That's 3 and 2 in a row.
There's no reason to commit a foul with the man off the lane. Especially when you're playing well, stay in the game. Find ways to stay in the game. Once again, nice out of bounds play, looked like a little contact.
Moore got stripped. And another foul. Frederick Edmond taking the ball to the glass.
Well, what's going to happen on this play is the player actually is going to end up slapping the backboard. I don't know if we'll see it again. I'll tell you, both teams can get it from one end to the other pretty quick.
So Wynn with his 2nd foul of the half, his 3rd of the game. Tim Floyd some pondering as Edmond missed the free throw.
He was just pushing it up. You hear that? That was just slapping that backboard. Wasn't even close. So you missed 2 and you commit a foul. And that's an awful trip. Bad trip.
So Edmond can't cash in the free throws, commits a 2nd foul.
You got a chance to increase your lead to 14. Now a basket, a 3-point play will actually get it under 10.
Takes a lot of fouls in the first 3.5 minutes. Too.
Yes.
That's 9 combined here in the 2nd half. Moore, nice look, parried it.
Yeah, good offense. Nice offense along the baseline, for that mid-range jump shot to take a knockdown.
Moore's had a tough day shooting the basketball. It's a 2nd field goal in 8 tries.
Before the game, we talked about a couple of guys who could make the difference in this game, and Frederick Edmond was one of those guys, and he's done a great job tonight running the point.
Ben Lawson around the world in 80 days with his first bucket.
Another big guy that can step away from the basket and make threes. He's another one of those guys you fit into the category as a stretch 4 or a stretch 5.
He's on the national team in Great Britain.
Right.
Big kids, 7-1.
See, long as it's one and done, Western's in pretty good shape.
UTEP shooting 39% from the floor. And another personal foul will send us to break. 49-37, Western Kentucky on the road has this one in hand so far.
Everybody clap your hands.
12 points, the biggest lead of the game for Western Kentucky. That's where we stand at 15:30 to play in the game.
Well, if you're UTEP, you got to start to cut into that lead soon. And you know that they had three chances, 3 times in a row, Western Kentucky didn't even get a shot off. So you got to convert 1 or 2, maybe all 3 of those times.
Well, like you said, it's been one and done for the most part. And Aaron Cosby buries a 3.
Well, that shows you why Tim spent so much time concentrating on him. I mean, he's feeling it.
His third 3-point shot of the game, and he's got 11 points overall.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he's really out there. I mean, he's well beyond. I mean, he's NBA 3-point on that, and there's no hesitation at all on his shot.
This is a man we focused on, Coach, in our pregame commentary. It's Dominic Artis. 2 big games back-to-back against Louisiana Tech. 56 points in those last 2 games. Today, he's in single digits with 7.
Well, I think part of it is he's almost too unselfish as a player. I think he's got to just say, listen, I can carry this team and take the team on his back a little more than he sometimes wants to do.
Dribbles into traffic. Beautiful pass in the stuff. That'll work.
That'll work. But see, he's got to be a scoring threat, and then he becomes an even better passer. But he's got to look to score.
Hands off. Hands off.
UTEP. Little pep in the step. And a foul on the floor, forearm.
Once again, I mean, you know, if you're a dangerous scorer like Artis is, then that means that you also can be an even equally dangerous passer. But he's got to look to score even more. Any guy that can get 30 and 28, he's got to be looking to score. Over the back, got away with one that time.
Call. Ben Lawson cleans it up. And a foul inside. Marlon Hunter picked it up. He'll go to the strike. And here's the great penetration by Artis a moment ago. Actually, we'll show you his numbers the last 2 ball games. Huge numbers.
Let's not forget also that he played a ton of minutes His team scored 112 points the other night. That was Thursday. They practiced yesterday. They shot around this morning. He could be a little tired. His legs could be feeling the effects of that.
What about the emotion of this weekend's events as well?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it too, because yesterday
the whole team went to the event that they had for the team, which was a couple hours long. They sat there. I mean, instead of maybe going back and going to sleep. I mean, trust me, they belong there. But maybe they could have used a little more rest.
They're hanging in. Can't make any hay. They're still down 12.
It's not much, not in college basketball. If you score 112 one night, then you certainly. They came back from 17 down that night. So they're very capable.
Fint way outside, gives it up. With 5 to shoot on the baseline, Barry. Dylan Sanford. 10-point game. Get it under 10, keep it under 10, and get the crowd back in.
Amen. You're home, and you never won. What a difference that makes. They say it's 4 coming out of the game, 4 points, for being home.
Well, you said it earlier, neither one of these clubs doing good work away from home. That's a beautiful finish. Makes it a 12-point game again.
Well, the redshirt senior is, he's finishing strong.
That was one of your keys, finish strong.
Amen, and that's what you got to do, but not just in basketball, but in life. Finish strong. Follow through on whatever job you're doing. Coach is yelling, watch the lob, watch the lob. Let's see what happens.
Crosby and Waters get a breather with 13:20 to play.
Still only 12.
Moore, good look. Deflected. And a jump. UTEP will keep it.
Closed out really nicely. That's got to make Coach happy, coming out that time on the jump shooter and getting a piece of it. Watch right here. The only thing I would say, the only criticism to that was he closed out and he blocked that shot with his right hand as opposed to his left. But you saw a nice offensive tip in, which both teams can do.
Yep, Tevin Caldwell with it. 10-point game.
Can't settle for the Jays.
Now Fint the rebound. UTEP a rare running chance in the second half. Moore penetrates, dishes, and the foul.
Once again, see the unselfish play. They'd love to get out and run, and then they'll share the basketball.
Morris took it to the basket. He'll take the punishment and the 2 free throws.
At the line for the Miners.
Anytime you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys or 5 starters averaging double figures, and a 6-man's 9.5. So really, you got 6 guys averaging double figures. That shows balance and unselfishness.
Good work at the free throw line. UTEP below 50%.
Yeah, you got
Kentucky at 50%.
Yeah, both teams, free throw wise, actually WKU on the year shooting. Western Kentucky shooting a little over 70. UTEP 66. That could be their Achilles heel.
Morris averages 12. He's got a new career high now.
But they got it under 10.
It's a 9-point game.
Okay, and there's still 12 to go. Next goal is try to get it down to 5.
And the foul. Edmond has been relentless in taking the ball to the basket this entire game. Used his body well, hung in the air, got hit.
I don't know if he got hit, but I mean, the defense almost looked like he was trying to get out of the way. There really wasn't any contact, but I think the official was expecting a lot more contact than that.
A 14-point game for Edmond. 6 of 9 from the floor, but that's been the Achilles heel for him.
Yep.
He's not had a good day at the line. 1 for 6 now at the free throw stripe.
Tell you what, at the end of every practice, he should be in there shooting, and not just shooting, but making at least 100 calls.
Hunter with a personal.
9 team fouls.
That's what our test has to do. And that is take the ball to the basket. Even though he's not tall, he's long, and he's strong. And he can make free throws. I take that back. Actually, on the year, he's only shooting in the low 60s. which is kind of hard to believe for a guy that can shoot the ball as well as him.
Looked good in that trip.
Yes, he did.
8-point game.
Just keep chipping away if you're UTEP. If you're Western Kentucky, the last thing you want to be thinking about now is the clock. You just got to play ball.
Edmond has it, dribbles to the line, fires, got it. Dribble penetration for Edmond.
You know, it's funny, I talked to Coach, and a little early in the year, he didn't play that many minutes. They had another guy who was getting the minutes. He started getting minutes, and he's really producing.
Edmond takes it to the hoop, stumbles, lost the handle. Johnson rebounds and lays it in with the left hand.
Once again, you see that ability to be able to go to either side of the rim with either hand. Huge turn of events that time.
11.5 to play. 3 of the Hilltopper defenders playing with 3 fouls, by the way. We'll keep an eye on that. Fink couldn't handle the pass inside.
Tough pass for a big guy to handle.
And the foul. There's that man again. Frederick Edmond takes it to the hoop, and he'll go to the line when we come back with 11:16 to go. Well, Coach, I would imagine part of the art of coaching is finding out who has the hot hand and then getting out of his way.
Well, I think it is, and Ray Hopper is one of those guys. You don't win all the amount of games that he's won, 20-plus games the last 3 years, national championships at Division II. I mean, this guy knows how to coach, and what he has seen is, in this player, a guy who wasn't playing a lot early, is that, you know what, he's so instrumental to this team. He's just letting him play. That's a sign of a great coach when they do that.
Double-double and 4 assists away from a triple-double. We've got a lot of time left, over 11 minutes. Now, before the break, we had a technical foul.
We did, and that's huge because you're talking about 2 shots, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to get the ball as well. So, I mean, you know, once again, you're talking about a potential for 4 more points.
Yeah, the technical foul was on Hooper Vint, and he's not in the game right now. So Aaron Cosby hits 1 out of 2, and technical on the kicked ball.
Okay, so basically they're not going to get the ball back because the tech occurred before he went to the free throw line. So maybe they'll get 3 out of it, maybe not.
That's about all that's gone wrong for Frederick Edmond in this game.
I'm looking at his shot and I'm saying, you know what? His problem is what most players are. He needs a little more follow through, a little more extension. Lock that elbow. Wow.
Easy bucket.
Well, it wasn't really easy. It was close.
And he wanted a foul too. He didn't get it.
Don't blame him.
12-point game.
Fronting the post with the smaller guy, getting plenty of backside help with the other defender.
So after Lee Moore's basket, 8 to shoot now for Western Kentucky.
Rostov missed a great opportunity of getting the ball that time inside to Johnson because Johnson really had the lane all to himself. But if he makes these free throws, it'll be okay.
There you go. Big first half for Rostov. That was part of the reason for Western Kentucky's 12-point first half lead. Big advantage in points off the bench. He had 8 of them.
You know, it's amazing that when adversity hits, and so here's Western Kentucky, the point guard, Chris McNeil, is basically in, at best, a limited role tonight, and other guys step up. I mean, that's how teams are made. That's how great seasons end up occurring. This Western Kentucky team is going to be tough first week in March, and the UTEP team, I believe.
14-point game. Pass in traffic, ball loose.
This is where Artis has to start taking over the game a little bit more himself. Make some things happen.
Made his own shot, won't go. And rebound pulled away again by Edmond. He's gone almost the entire way here in the second half, and why not? Rostov. Wide open look and buried by Marlon Hunter. 16-point game.
And Hunter, one of those guys, he's only averaging 13 minutes a game, so, you know, he gets some really good minutes tonight, and then you got another guy now that makes your team that much deeper.
In and out. Hunter again, or Edmond again, I beg your pardon.
Yep.
3 ball, in and out. Stolen away. Hunter shot it short, and that commits a foul.
I'll tell you, the UTEP team right now, I'm looking out at the guys, they're tired, okay? They're tired. I mean, if Western Kentucky can just, you know, score a couple more baskets, I mean, they could end this game. But UTEP's home, so they're not going to play.
There you go. Devin Caldwell go to the line. Knocks him down. It's the first down, I should say. Rostov takes a break.
You know, as a coach, and you're in a game like this, and you know, you start to look at the other team, you look for little signs. Are they grabbing their shorts? You know, are they still pushing the ball down the court? And right now, like I said, UTEP looks like they just, maybe it's caught up to them. Maybe not.
As you said a couple of times in this half, one shot and that's it. Cosby drives.
Nice penetration.
3, buries it again.
I'll tell you what, if he's knocking down threes, holy smoly.
19 points on 8 of 12 shooting. And Western Kentucky's opened up a 17-point lead. Another pops in and out. And then Caldwell reaches in.
Once again, penetrate, sets up the opportunity to get a guy a wide open shot. He had enough time that time here to read the name on the ball, turn it so the seams are running left to right, and then just let it fly.
Well, it's a bad combination for UTEP right now. When you shoot 37% and your opponent shoots 55%, you find yourself down double digits.
Yeah, you know, like I said, if they were on the road, I'd say this game was over. Because they're home and they've got this incredible crowd with these great fans, the game is never over.
UTEP did have a lead in the first half. It was only 1 point. Western Kentucky jumped out to an 8-0 lead. Similar fashion to how they played in their last ball game when they shot 60% from the floor and cruised to an 83-71 win versus Texas San Antonio. Rejected by Lawson with the left hand. Nice spinning move that drops Mega Harris's 4th point.
Well, with 8 to go, down 17, you're going to have to start mixing in some threes, whether it's, you know, the old-fashioned way or the new conventional way. Western Kentucky's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And rightfully so.
Now Moore breaks it out. He doesn't have numbers. And he's tripped up. Cosby a little late. He was knocked down underneath his offensive basket. And Nigel Snipes is going to check in for Marlon Hunter.
Keep rotating the backcourt, guys.
Correction, that is 5 personal fouls on Hunter.
And Hunter apparently is called for his 5th foul, so that's it. So Hunter with a fine ball game, especially on the defensive end of the floor, picks up his 5th foul at the 8-minute mark.
You know, I, like Coach Harper, thought that was his 4th, but I guess it was his 5th. That's when you look over and you say, which assistant coach is in charge of, you know, personal fouls? What happened?
Moore knocked them both down.
Checking in for the Miners, number 20, Irvin Morris,
Moore out. Morris back in.
Look for some full court pressure now. Of course, it's hard to put pressure on full court if you're not scoring.
Toppers broke it pretty easily.
So easy call.
Yep, Johnson charged. He's had a couple of those in the game.
Well, anytime you get a big guy, okay, with the ball, and you'll see here, if he's pushing up the court, it's going to get a charge.
special day in El Paso, but an exceptionally special day for Frederick Edmond of Western Kentucky, Coach.
Well, we just looked at his stats. I mean, he's 8 for 12 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-point line. He's got 13 rebounds, 21 points. He's got a +4 in assist to turnovers, 6-2. I'm telling you what, if this was a Super Bowl, he'd be the MVP.
Jake Flaggart's checked in for UTEP. He's a good home three-point shooter. You mentioned that's what the Miners could use here in the final 7:40 of the game.
Well, right now they do. They need some of those because the drives, the twos are only going to get you so close.
Morris penetrates, but picks up the foul. Edmond commits his third.
Yeah, and coach is a little upset because there's no need to foul on that. Make them shoot over you. They're not making those shots tonight.
Rostov back to the table. He's ready to check in.
Yeah, he'll go in now and he'll play until he fouls out. Because he's not a guy that you're going to want in the game at the very end of the game. So let him get his time right now.
Big day for Irvin Morris. A career afternoon. He adds to it.
Here's the full court pressure. Take the ball out of Edmond's hands.
Johnson. Rostov left wing.
Earlier in the year, that might have been a turnover with a big to big, but those guys handled the ball very well.
Johnson met by a white wall. 12 to shoot. Rostov spins. Baseline won't go. UTEP with a stop. Need a few more of those.
They do. This is a stage in the game. They need 3 or 4 consecutive stops. At the same time, they need a score on those stops. And if they do, this thing could come down to the wire.
That's a good look from 14 to shot at 13.
Yeah, but you gotta finish those, and then you gotta put stops and baskets together right now after UTEP.
Yeah, Morris had a good look, couldn't finish. 6:45 to go now. Johnson on the baseline was pushed.
Late call, but the right call.
Flaggett was there. And he pushed him out of bounds.
Second personal foul. Going to the line, Tuckers, 23.
Moving off a bit from the field. They've missed 5 of their last 6 shots. UTEP hasn't been able to cut much into the lead. It's 14 points. More back in for the Miners.
I've never seen so many guys that basically are coming up a little short on their, particularly with free throws. They're not extending and following through as completely as they need to. That time he did. But you got to do the same thing every single time.
6.5 to go.
You can tell by the intensity of Ray Hopper on the sideline how big this game is for Western Kentucky. You get road wins against a good home team. I mean, it's like getting 2 wins in one.
And you mentioned you want momentum this time of year. They're looking for back-to-back wins for the first time since late December. Now it'll rattle home. Omega Harris.
Now you got to make a stop and convert.
Here comes Cosby.
Somebody's got to stop the basketball. Can't let him push it up the floor.
13-point game. Edmond's been an Iron Man. And a whistle.
Easy call for the ref.
Omega Harris. It may not be such a bad play. You've got fouls to play with, and you've got a man that struggled at the free throw line. You can get a stop this way, too.
Well, you'd like to hope that's the strategy, right?
See if it works.
Yeah, he doesn't have a really fluid stroke. I mean, but I'll tell you what, he's a really good basketball player.
He's 3 for 11. Wow, at the free throw line. That's the only blemish today.
It is. He'd have 40-30 tonight.
And he got 1 out of 2.
Well, guess what? He'd be in the gym shooting free throws and free throws and free throws.
Moore dishes. Ball shot under the backboard. And it looks to have been knocked out of bounds by the Hilltoppers.
Ray's yelling, watch the lob. So you know they spent a lot of time prepping for these out-of-bounds plays. And once again, did a nice job defending it.
Moore, long three. Got it.
Maybe they should have given the lob.
So Moore hits a long three. He's got 11 points. And that's the margin.
Well, it is. And you know what? You're only down 11. You can come back.
.544 to play. It's 72-61 Western Kentucky.
Full court pressure here. Western Kentucky loves to go long when you try to deny them full court. That time they didn't. You know, you had mentioned something. What was that during the break?
UTEP's 1-10 this year in games they've trailed with 5 minutes to play this year.
And you know why that is? I think the reason is because they're not a great defensive team. And in order to come back, you've got to be able to make 3-4 consecutive stops in a row.
Shot clock at 8.
Just play solid with your UTEP.
Air ball. There's the stop UTEP needed.
Still got plenty of time. 5 minutes to go. Tons of possessions left in the game. You're just down 11, but you got to make consecutive stops.
Omega Harris almost threw it away. Lee Moore cleaned it up. And he'll fire away. And he'll drill it. A stop and a three.
Well, I'll tell you what, right about now, I'd have him shooting threes and tell the other guys drive it.
What'd you say? They were down 17 points in their last game against Marshall?
Well, they were. They're home. That spin dribble, you know, can get you in a lot of trouble because when you turn like he just did, you know, you don't see the defense. The defense now gets a chance. I hope we see him pushing the ball up the court. I think we're going to, well, I guess not.
UTEP scored the last 6 points.
That's what you got to do. You got to make stops and score. You got to combine those two elements.
Short. Offensive rebound though. Reset for UTEP.
And you know what else Coach Floyd has been able to do? He's been able to give his star player a little bit of time. Test on the bench, so I look for him to come back in probably right about now. Here he comes.
Flaggart had a good look, but shot it short. 4:20 to play. Crowd hoping for another stop. Offensive rebound, Rostov. Crowd wanted to charge, won't get it. Instead, we get a personal foul on Moore.
Yeah, and I think they should have got it that time because that's exactly what Coach Floyd was practicing on and wanted guys to come over and get that offensive foul.
Rostov back to the line. His first free throw miss.
You know, it's amazing. Another little thing that guys do, and another reason why guys don't really shoot well from the free throw line is there's too much. They play with the basketball too much. Get the ball, spin it around. I mean, all kinds of stuff that you don't do when you get a good pass from somebody. Watch the spin. That time you made it, but too much stuff.
Approaching 4 minutes.
Wide open three.
Barry. Omega Harris.
6-point game, 2-possession game.
And the Hilltoppers call timeout. They had Justin Johnson all by himself in the front court, and they didn't see it. But UTEP on a roll. We got a game with less than 4 to play. Coming up next, 2 welterweight knockout artists collide. Former champion Johnny Hendricks, Wonder Boy Thompson matchup, plus a heavyweight showdown as Nelson takes on Rochold. UFC Fight Night is live and it's free after our game right here on FS1. Mike, what was a 19-point Western Kentucky lead now sees a 73-67 game.
Well, you know what? I'm glad for all the people that stayed because this game's coming right down the stretch.
Edmonds been quiet the last couple of minutes. Let's see if Western Kentucky gets the ball in his hands with 3:45 to play.
And this will also give us a good indication of, can they do it without the point guard?
Great defense. Johnson was trapped. More dribbles, drives, throws it up and gets fouled.
When you can push the ball up the court like they can. Great job here with the double, good steal. Push it and keep going until somebody stops you. Nobody stops you.
Big foul. That's Edmond, and that's number 4.
That's huge.
Now we'll see if UTEP can hit the free throws.
This is where right now I think, Edmond's been great tonight. Trust me. But right now this is where you'd love to have your regular point guard.
4-point game. From 19 to 4 and 3:33 to play.
And Weston's not playing quite with the confidence. It's almost like they're trying to play out the clock right now. Close to a violation.
And a steal. And then turned right back.
That's where you want to use a jump pass, but another steal.
And a stop. Morris.
Western Kentucky's got to find a way to get under control and slow down.
The drive and the foul. Aaron Cosby got fouled at 3:05. The steal, the turnover, the re-steal, and the stuff.
Almost looked like the Western Miners, the Texas Western team. Okay, when they made those steals, when what was it, Bobby Joe?
Wynn and Moore each have 4 fouls for UTEP. Frederick Edmond has 4 for Western Kentucky. 3 minutes to go in the game.
Big free throws. You know, sometimes you look at free throws and like that, you say, oh, wow, those are huge, which they were. But you know what? The ones you miss early are just as important in a game.
More penetration, finger roll, won't go, but the follow. Lee Moore. What a day for Lee Moore. 2-point game again. Got a screen, fires and hits. Big bucket for Frederick Edmond, playing with 4 fouls.
He is just a scorer.
More out of control. Western Kentucky knocked it away.
Well, it looked like Edmond might have got away with a foul on that one. Could have been his 5th.
A 24-point afternoon for Frederick Edmond. 2:20 to go. Wynn lost it, Rostov got it.
And Rostov, I think that's 5, isn't it?
That's number 4.
4, okay. But once again, you know, you just let him go right now. Because by the time the end of the game comes around, you're probably going to have 10 backcourt players on the floor.
Free throws, free throws, free throws.
Oh, baby.
Down the stretch.
Tell you, all game long.
Big one for Wynn, who's a 56% free throw shooter on the year.
But you know, if he would shoot with that amount of concentration all the time, even though his shot's not pretty, he'd still be a decent free throw shooter. Because that time, I mean, he had full concentration.
One or two, but an offensive rebound. Moore got it, lost it. And Western Kentucky the other way. Long three, back iron, Rostov another rebound. He has been huge on the glass all day. Now reset of the clock, they can work it. Under 2 minutes to play.
Big possession.
Cosby got a screen, tries, off balance shot, no. Rostov rebound, lost it, it's Hilltopper ball. The Hilltoppers are shooting UTEP right back into this game.
Well, they
won
are.
for their last 8.
Guys are battling.
And I believe that previous play is going to be reviewed as to who has possession.
Well, with less than 2, you want to go to the monitor, take a look. You want to make sure it's right. I thought that was off of Weston, but we'll see. But you know, it's got to be. I mean, it's really, you can't have any doubt on it. I thought it was off Rostov, but
Morris was the man that had his hand near the ball and pulled it back.
Yeah, it looked like it.
And that's sometimes what makes the call for the official, that reaction.
well, we'll see.
How about the second half?
How about
Looked like a blowout. Western Kentucky led by 19. UTEP was closed within 3 again.
Well, once again, that's home court. I mean, you know, kids that are playing, they're human. On the road, now, on the road, they might stop and sometimes end up getting blown out. At home, they're not going to ever stop playing. Let's see what we got. I think it'll stay with Western. I thought it was off.
Terry Wynn, number 12.
Okay.
Officials convene. The call will stand apparently.
Well, you know, it's nice when they go to the monitor after making a call like that, and they can substantiate that the call is the correct one.
Or if there's not enough evidence to overturn,
right,
leave it as is.
Amen. Huge possession here for both teams.
Aaron Cosby out on the point. Artis guards him.
With the no 5-second closely guarded call against the dribbler, it really helps the offense.
Edmond got a screen, threw it up widely and missed it.
Here they go.
Here comes UTEP down 3. Moore had it poked away. And UTEP with possession.
You got to know how many guys are in front of you. And if there aren't 5 from the other team, it means somebody's coming up behind you.
Wind travel.
I think at times Wynn tries to do maybe just a little bit too much, and he also needs to be a little bit lower. Notice his body, I mean, positions a little bit upright.
Try to get that left foot down, and never found the hardwood.
But you got to get low.
Here's that pressure.
You're going to try to get a 10. Big guy, that's what you want handling the ball if you're UTEP.
Johnson's in trouble. Needs some help and has to call timeout.
That was close to 5.
What a game. What a finish on tap. You wouldn't think it.
No.
They've outscored them. Thank you. .53 seconds to go. Johnson calls timeout right in front of his bench. And Western Kentucky has the ball, coach, with 18 seconds to play. 18 seconds to play in this possession.
18 to play in this possession. 53 in the game. 1 possession game. Right now it's like which team wants to win this game? It's almost like they're both playing not to lose right now. Go after it. Weston's got to be aggressive.
Frederick Edmonds had the huge game. 10 to shoot.
This is where he really needs to come up big.
Rostov tries to set a screen up high. 5 seconds to shoot. Spins from the line. Double clutch. Air ball and out of bounds.
Really, really well defended.
So last possession, Terry Wynn got the ball on the baseline and traveled.
If you are,
might have a question as to whether that shot was tipped.
No, I don't think so. But if you're
looking to see if it got tipped.
I don't think it was, but if you're UTEP, of course, it's a lot easier. Watch this right here. No tip. If you're UTEP, you're down 3 points, 1 possession is 30-something seconds. You got the other team on their heels. All you need is a score. I don't care if it's a 1, a 2, or a 3. You don't have to go for the 3 right now if you're UTEP.
You said Western Kentucky this year has had trouble finishing games. 3 of their conference losses have been by a total of 11 points.
Right.
What I said earlier was they're shooting UTEP right back into this game. They're 2 for their last 13 from the floor in that stretch, 1 for 10 as well.
Well, you're right. Western Kentucky has had a problem holding on. UTEP has had a problem coming back. It's really amazing. You got this kind of game going on. Right now, I think the biggest problem for Western is they're without their first team point guard. So Edmonds got to handle the ball a lot more than he should.
So once again, the review was the shot tipped on the double clutch by Wynn, right there.
I didn't see it.
I don't think he did either. If
they're looking at the same, unless they got another angle they're looking at. I didn't see it.
Well, great shots by our director, Renardo Lowe, today. Our producer, Brian Woodruff.
Now, obviously, if you're Western Kentucky, you're hoping and praying that they do call a tip because you're going to get the ball back.
Eric Kendall and Drew Jenkins in the truck as well as we finish off what's been a very memorable day at the Heskins Center in El Paso.
I'll tell you what. Yes, good call.
So no tip.
No tip.
So 36 seconds to play. New shot clock. UTEP's got the ball, one possession game. Where do they go?
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, I mean, honestly, I'm going with either Artes or I'm going with Moore. I'm sorry.
Lee Moore. Or Dominic Artis, let's see. It's Moore. He got it! What an amazing underhand shovel shot to potentially set up a tie. How in the world did he finish that?
I don't know, but he has a way. He has a knack.
And that's a huge play because Edmond just fouled out as well.
And that is huge.
Did that cost them one or not?
20 for Moore, a chance for 21, and a tie.
And I don't think you take a chance now and put your regular point guard back in the game, you know, with the ankle and the fact that he's been sitting for so long. But guess what? Why not? There's only 26 seconds left.
Well, you've got the right guy at the line if you're UTEP. He's shot the most free throws, and he's made the most free throws on their team. 73 to the second strike.
Well,
perfect so far today.
Yeah, and you know, McNeil coming back in. He's only played 6 minutes, and he does have the sprained ankle, but he's going to have a lot of time between now and Thursday.
UTEP has come back from a 19-point deficit.
This would be an incredible win for UTEP and a very tough loss for Western.
Cosby with a handle. 8 to shoot. Cosby, hide and seek behind Rostov. Dribble, drive, hands, can't hit. Ball loose. And Western Kentucky will have the ball with 0.6 of a second remaining.
Wow, so you got time, you still got time to catch and shoot here. Uh-oh, here we go. I think we're coming to the monitors.
Well, UTEP wants to see if Western knocked it out of bounds, did they?
I don't know.
Good luck.
I've never seen so many guys, so many times when the refs have come out and looked at monitors before. Referee just said, I want to see 2 things. Who hit the ball and how much time is left. Now, if UTEP would do a little better job blocking out, they might every now and then get an over-the-back call in their favor, but they don't really block out. So that's why it's so difficult for them to get those. Who's that off? Is it off Weston? Looks like it's off of Johnson.
Off Johnson, I thought.
Let's see. .6. I think you get time to catch and shoot. I think under that you don't.
And the clock, game clock, showed 1.2 when that ball hit the hardwood. So you might have not only a change of possession, but you might have a change in the game clock too.
If it's UTEP's ball, they've got to go the full length of the court. Now you go to, you go to a play that you probably have practiced over and over and again. You know, years ago, I remember, there was a play we used to run. We called it Hubie because it was one of Hubie Brown's last second. I mean, like under 1 second left to go for 94 feet. It usually worked in practice. Didn't work too many times, except one night it did work in a game. But so, Coach here is going to go to a play that they practiced many times. Trust me. Now, defensively, what you got to do is you got to put a man up on the ball and put real pressure on the ball, and at the same time, you got to make sure you got somebody deep, because if everybody's up, you could throw what they call the home run pass.
And Coach, from a coaching standpoint, there's got to be an eternity's worth of difference between 0.6 versus 1.6.
Oh, huge. I mean, with over a second, you got time to catch, make a dribble or two and shoot.
So we were right. Good catch by our crew. The game clock's now at 1.5 seconds.
Well, the way these guys...
The game clock is going to be set at 1.5.
And I believe the call's going to be overturned. It's going to be UTEP ball.
It is. And it was off of Johnson. The way these guys can push the ball up. If you're Texas Western, which we'll call them right now, you want to try to get the ball, if you can, at least by the hash marks in the back court. As quick as these guys are, they can make a couple of dribbles and still get a good shot off.
And now Tim Floyd's going to burn a timeout to talk over the inbounds play, the catch, and potentially a game-winning shot.
We saw that.
What an amazing second half. Simply amazing.
It's incredible. And the ref came over and said, "Did you see who hit it off?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, 23.
Oh, what'd you say? The Miners have been the comeback kids.
Unbelievable. I tell you what, this has been what a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got incredible.
And what a show for those heroes of the 1966 team who've been honored all day, all weekend here in El Paso, and are still here watching the final minutes of this game.
Well, they deserve this. I mean, after all, for all they did for the world, I mean, they deserve to have a great game.
So diagram the inbounds play and the shot for UTEP.
Well, I'm trying to get the ball to one of my Jets here near half court. Any one of these three guys. And then I'm saying to them, you take a couple of dribbles and try to get as close as you can. Bang.
There's
One,
more.
Two.
Half court shot. Good, and it goes. And we're going to overtime. He had a good look.
And he might have been able to take one more dribble. But guess what? 77-77. We got a great game. Don't go anywhere. Come on back. Yeah. It's a good thing they got three young refs working. Relatively young.
Yeah, right? Rob, thank you very much. What's the oldest saying in sports, Coach? It's not how you start, but how you finish. Western Kentucky began this game 8-0. They led by 19 points at one point, but UTEP's outscored them 46-32 in the second period to force overtime.
You know what? It's all about getting the W. And before the game, one of the gentlemen from the armed forces came on and he said, it's all about the win. When you go to war or go to battle, you go to win. When you play to win. So right now, both teams got 5 minutes to see who comes up with the W.
Big advantage, I would think, for UTEP is that Frederick Edmonds fouled out of the game, and he's been the hot hand for the Hilltoppers.
Well, he is. And, and the thing is, he's such a weapon. And he's a guy that puts so much pressure on the defense. And it is a huge advantage to have him out. And right now, I think almost in a way, Western Kentucky might have be at a little bit of disadvantage having to play two big guys at the same time. Plus, their point guard, has played limited minutes with a sprained ankle. So they're really a lot thinner right now than UTEP.
So for Western Kentucky, Chris McNeil, Alexei Rostov, Aaron Cosby, Justin Johnson, and Nigel Snipes on the floor. UTEP with Lee Moore, Cooper Vince, Irvin Morris, Dominic Artis, and Omega Harris. Both teams with 1 full and 1 30-second timeout here in the overtime period. 5 minutes to decide it. And UTEP gets the first crack.
And for UTEP, I'm just looking, Wynn, Moore, and Bent have 4 fouls. Might be one of those games. This might be a 3-on-3 game before it's over. Western Kentucky makes a pretty smart move here. They go in zone. Smart for a lot of reasons. Stay out of foul trouble.
Good luck. Morris drives and with a right hand delivers the lead.
Yeah, but you got to stop that dribble penetration, because even though it's a zone, doesn't mean you're going to settle for threes.
Ball stolen. Dribble, dunk. Morris in transition.
What a great way to start the overtime, okay, if you're UTEP. And right now you've got, it seems like you got 100,000 people in here on your side.
The Hilltoppers are stunned. A 19-point lead, now a 4-point deficit. 81-77. We're a minute in to overtime. Coach, for a 6 or 7 minute stretch in the second period, Frederick Edmond single-handedly had control of this game. He has fouled out, and foul trouble is a very big story for Western Kentucky.
And you know, they got to a point where they really depend on that guy. And so with him not in there, and with, you know, with McNeil with the ankle problem, I mean, it makes all the difference in the world.
3 minors with 4 fouls too, but they've got the lead. There's pressure for Western Kentucky as they bring it up.
Look for Western Kentucky. I mean, I think they're just going to stay, you know, they'll probably stay in the zone if they can, another possession. UTEP obviously has decided to stay man-to-man. This is the guy if you have to stop. Crosby.
Rostov the lob, and Johnson with a look in the lay-in. Pretty play.
Awfully tough to defend from right in the middle of the court, because you don't get the kind of weak side help that you really want to get. What you got to get, though, is great ball pressure.
Johnson, one of 4 Hilltoppers in double figures.
Weston in the zone, middle's open.
Moore dishes and a lay-in and a foul. Morris having a huge overtime.
He really is, and I don't know who's responsible defensively, but the middle of that zone right now is wide open, and the middle of the zone should be more contained, because right now you want UTEP shooting threes, but they're not doing a real good job protecting the middle, as you just saw in that play.
26 points for Irvin Morris. He averages 12 a game. Preseason all-conference player. He's played like that today.
He has, and now they've got a 5-point lead, but it's still 3 minutes to go. So guess what? This game is far from over.
Bad pass, and out of bounds to UTEP. Crosby tried to hit a cutter on the baseline.
Well, he was trying to go over the top to his post guy, but see, with the ball on one side of the court or the other, you don't have the good angle, and you don't have as good a chance of completing that pass like you do, or like they did the previous time down when the ball was centered.
Western Kentucky needs a stop. Spin, and a finger roll. There's Artis.
There's Artis, who is the artist on that play. Right now, things are slipping away a little bit, obviously, for Western. Good call, ref.
Omega Harris with the body commits the foul.
Right here, you'll see that great spin move. I mean, once again, he's so quick and so strong.
He's coming off a 33-point game against Marshall. Double digits again today with 11.
One more for Cosby.
Now Cosby has a second.
If you're UTEP, what you don't want to do right now is you don't want to stop the game with fouls.
Cosby rattles it home. He's got 20, and we've got a 5-point difference.
Oh, and plenty of time. But you got to make stops. So now it's can Weston make stops? UTEP did when they had to.
Moore got hit. Off balance runner, and everything going his way.
Oh boy, that's the home court rim.
They have loosened up here in the second half.
Got a block, I think.
Cosby fouled on the floor. Omega Harris the foul.
Well, once again, you know, when things are going right, I mean, the ball just falls for you. That's what happened there. You've got it right now if you're UTEP. Cosby. You have to stop him. You want to make almost anybody else on the Western Kentucky team shoot the ball. You want to keep the ball out of Cosby's hands, make somebody else shoot it.
Lawson checks in to try to shut down the middle. 88-83, approaching 2 minutes. Crowd on its feet in El Paso.
Now Western that time did something they hadn't done all game. They went to a 2-2-1 press. And they forced them to take maybe a little quicker three than they really needed to take.
Force the clock a little bit.
Yeah, but he was so wide open, why not?
Cosby hits Johnson. And a foul. Home crowd wanted to travel on Nigel Snipes. Instead, Lee Moore picks up the foul.
How many is that for Moore? Is that his fifth?
That's number 5.
Wow, that's huge.
So Moore, who's had a huge overtime, fouls out. Terry Wynn checks in for him. And Nigel Snipes goes to the line. 23 points, 11 rebounds for Lee Moore today.
Free throws.
Western 21 out of 36 at the start.
And he needed both of those to make this a one-possession game.
That one on the mark.
Still a two-possession game unless you foul a guy on a three. And I look for UTEP to just drive it and drive it. You want to get the ball in the hands of your best players right now, your guards, your backcourt players.
Dominic Artis. Niners work the clock, 15 to shoot, a minute 30 to play. Nice fake, spin, beautiful move.
I'll tell you what,
Morris.
You can tell he's practiced that move a lot.
29 points for Irvin Morris.
This is the guy right here. I'd think about double team if he comes off a screen. Nice
Johnson. Good look. Free ball. Got it. Nigel Snipes hits a big three that quiets the crowd, makes it a one-possession game. 90-87 with a minute 6 to play. We're not done yet.
We are not.
Well, Coach, in a game with so much excitement, so much back and forth, there are a couple of numbers that really stand out with 1:06 to play in overtime.
Well, of course, the biggest number that stands out is points off a turnover. Turnovers, 23-4, UTEP's advantage. That right there, normally you'd win a game by 20 with that kind of number.
But when you're down 19,
yeah,
you've got to work hard to be up 3. And you know, Nolan Richardson, former Miner himself.
I was going to say, yeah, and you know, one of the, real pioneers of this game, and I can remember as a youngster, almost a youngster, being on calls with him and John Thompson and Cheney and Raveling when the days when the black coaches were trying to really, get some things going so they could start hiring more black coaches. And Nolan was a huge part of that. And of course, he had a great coaching career.
UTEP ball, 1 minute to play in this game. They lead by 3. Ball in the hands of Artis.
Still true, UTEP has got to try to get another basket. Once again, it's a one-possession game. They need another score.
10 to shoot for Artis. Dribble drive, rejected. Ben Lawson sent it back. Now in transition, Johnson lost his footing as he made his shot attempt.
Almost have to foul real soon here.
And Lawson does. Johnson had a great look, but as he made his move, Coach, his foot slipped.
It did, and the other thing is, he short-armed it a little bit. What he should have been doing, great block here, but what Johnson needed to do here was use the glass. He really didn't get it up high enough. And yes, like you said, he slipped. Maybe that's why he didn't get it up high enough off the glass. Huge free throws. It's amazing how the game comes down to free throws and layups, huh?
Turnovers. Yeah, all the stuff that we in the TV business don't usually talk about in this game.
No, but coaches talk about it and try to work on getting better at number one, limiting turnovers, making tough layups, and of course making crucial free throws.
Chance to make it a 5-point game. 3-second difference between game and shot clock.
Now does UTEP show a little bit of soft zone pressure and go back to zone, make them work some clock? Or do they just go back, just shuffle back? Western got to attack you. You got to go at it now, guys.
Cosby the handle. Lost it. Stolen away. Artis has it. He lost it. Ball on the floor. Miners have it. 16 to play in the game. They can run it out. Lawson the foul with 12 seconds to go.
Well, that's a crazy play. Now, anytime you're ahead of the pack, I don't care what, go and make the layup. Go and make the layup. But guess what? He's been playing so great, and it looks like they might be able to hold on onto this one. 12 seconds, up 5. They make these 2. What a win for UTEP. What a tough loss, okay, for Western.
Lawson fouls out. Alexei Rostov's going to come back in. He's been in foul trouble most of the second half.
Well, right now, fouls don't mean a thing.
At the line for the Miners, number 23, shooting 2.
UTEP trying to make that stat 20.
I've seen crazier things happen, because even if he makes this, he puts him up 6. If Western can come down quickly, make a 3, they got a timeout left, I believe. Get a steal, hit another 3. Who knows? We could be going to double overtime.
Got it. 6-point game, 12 seconds to go.
Gotta get a 3.
Ball poked away and out of bounds. 7 seconds to play.
A lot of tips from behind today, eh? Need a 3.
Not to be. Ball loose. Johnson's got it. 2 seconds left. He hits.
See, the problem with that 2.
No foul. That's your ball game. The Miners strike gold in dramatic fashion. smashing it home, coming back from 19 down, Coach, to win in overtime.
Wow.
Tim Floyd's club looking for momentum. Back-to-back wins at home. They stunned the Hilltoppers 93-89 in overtime. Coach, a pleasure to work with you on this special day.
With you.
That wraps things up for us here in El Paso, Texas. A fitting finish for the Miners. They celebrated the 50th anniversary of their 1966 NCAA title team. They gave them a title-worthy finish tonight.
Well, they did. All these folks that have been supporting this team, they were rewarded tonight. Okay, I really feel bad for Western Kentucky, though, after such a great game, losing at the end.
Coach, can't remember a game that had as many ebbs and flows as this one did. First half looked like Western Kentucky was going to roll away. Second half, the Miners got it tied and won it in overtime. That'll wrap things up from El Paso. We send it to Rob in our LA studios.
Awesome crowd we had today. Salute for 76 champions, Bowling. Congratulations.
The visitors, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. At a guard, a 6'3" senior from Louisville, Kentucky, number 2, Aaron Cosby. At a forward, a 7'1" junior from Hitchin, England, number 14, Ben Lawson.